Hello adventurers, it is I, Soloist Venture, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And for this month's series, this is August now, we are going to be doing a brand new series, and it's going to be a little bit about my self-discovery, I guess, as just a creative human. So, the title of the series is called How Solo Tabletop RPGs Leveled Me Up. In the first of our series, we're going to be talking about drawing dungeons and making it easy. So, if you have been following my solo tabletop RPG journey for a while, you might have noticed my love for doodling random things. I am really into just a lot of like DIY things. I have a bunch of journals here, and I started off with this journal, and this was my very first journal for, I guess, getting into art, and this was all about my D&D campaign. And so it's not done yet, but I just have this journal specifically for a D&D campaign that I'm playing. But this Bard's journal, it's all about my little doodles, and this was kind of like my first map that I've made, and as I was just slowly just doodling like for fun, I started to realize, I'm like, hey, like I think I can actually, put some more practice into this and just really see how this can like take off. This is an example of a stone wall with some elvish runes, and drawing this, I was like, oh, okay, like I can see myself really like putting in enough time and effort, and I could probably eventually get really, really good. And so, I don't know, just after some more practice and just a lot of trial and error, I start to realize kind of like my style. I start to develop, I don't know, just like a love for wanting to just keep drawing and keep practicing. And so, kind of where I'm at right now with my love for drawing, I really, really enjoy drawing dungeons. So we are going to be going over how to draw dungeons. And if you are familiar with a couple of play reports of my journey through Black Marsh, you'll probably recognize this, the city map of Geneve, and we also have the sewers as well. So you can see this is an example of a dungeon map. And so, yeah, I feel like with solo tabletop RPGs, it just made me realize like my love for drawing and just art. And so we are going to be going over how to draw some dungeon maps. So you can see here my recent kind of a project here. This is Bansen Shukai Temple, and obviously this is on a graph paper, but I have a mix here of dungeon rooms, or the rooms of the temple, and then this huge cavernous kind of opening here. So as you can see, I added details into this, and you do not need to be that detailed with your dungeon. It's truly up to you how detailed you want to make it. So to kind of give you an idea of different stuff that I use, so I will go over my tools here. So there are a lot of stuff that I like to use, and I'll give you kind of like my own personal recommendations and what's worked for me. So please keep in mind, I've only been doing this hobby for like a year, so I am like still learning and such, but I think this will be a good guide for especially someone who might not have a lot of like experience and they just want to, doodle for fun and for their own sessions. So my top tools: graph paper. I absolutely love graph paper. You can also use dotted line paper, but I am a fan of graph paper. So you can see graph paper, obviously you have a really good guideline of how to draw dungeon rooms and tunnels and etc. So I always recommend graph paper. And then I also recommend, I don't know how to pronounce this, MUAHAHA alcohol-based markers. That is, of course, optional if you do want to color your dungeon. That is the brand that I use to color all of this. So I have here a big box of markers. This is actually a vintage like camera bag thing, but I have a bunch of markers, and most of these are the MUAHAHA art markers. And the reason why I like this is because they are alcohol based, and you also have this fine tip kind of brush, which is really nice for smooth kind of strokes. Or you can have different strokes like that. Or not strokes, sorry, I meant smooth like blending like this. And then as you can see, as it eventually dries out, you barely see any streaks. And I feel like blending is really good with the alcohol based like marker here. So yeah, so you can see like some of the streaks start to like disappear as you blend. So I highly recommend MUAHAHA alcohol-based markers. And if you want to give your dungeon some dimensions here, you can use like these gray kind of colors. So I like using these gray markers to give it some dimension, some shading. So we can go over that too, and I will show you guys an example. So yeah, so we will put this on the side here. Okay. And then fine tip pens, and you should keep in mind to get various sizes for dimension, or you can just have one type of tip size, and then you can just color over it to like thicken the lines. Like that's what I did here for example, here as well. So I kind of went over it twice to thicken the lines. But I usually outline first with a pencil. So I like mechanical pencils. So this is a zebra, then this is a pen. What is it? Pentel? Yeah, a Pentel. Mechanical markers and an eraser. So my favorite are these Meepor pen lines. And then here is a brush pen line. Chotun, I think that's how you pronounce it. This is a really good set for really nice like fine line tips. So you can see the different sizes here. And then other ones I like, I do like Copic. I do enjoy this size as well, the 0.3. This is usually the type of tip size, I guess, that I personally like to use. But Copic is good too, but I do find it very expensive. But making sure that your markers are waterproof is really important. So yeah, so you can see there waterproof and fade proof fine lines, because if you did want to color or if you wanted to erase, you're not going to get too many like smudges, which is really nice. So that's something to keep in mind. And then just for like just doodling when I'm just kind of having like a good time, not really caring about how it looks like, I just use, oh my god, it's already faded, but I just use like a basic black like pen with this type of like tip here. So yeah, so this is a 0.05. It is water resistant, but it's still kind of like smudgy. So there's that. But yeah, you can see these points are very useful for fine lines when you're trying to draw dungeon maps. Like this is tiny. Like look at that. You can barely see it. Yeah. So really nice tiny lines for dungeons. And so yeah, so those are my tools. So like having graph paper like this, And then having like markers. This is of course optional if you want to like color it, give it some dimension. And then mechanical pencils and pens, along with an eraser. So yeah, so those are kind of your tools. And I will also say this is optional, depending on how, I guess, fine and neat you want the lines, but having a ruler as well, that will come in handy. Okay, and then now you can think about the different types of styles for your dungeon. So usually, I personally like to bounce between both of these types of styles here. So you can see that there's like fine little like dots here that give it dimension. And then here we have this cross like hatching kind of style. So these are two that I like to bounce between the two, or sometimes I like to combine them. Here's another style that I've seen. It's trying to like imitate dungeon walls, but like looking down. So usually for dungeon maps, if you do want to just keep it really simple and easy for your brain, I guess, to kind of comprehend, you're seeing things from a very aerial kind of point of view. So you're looking straight down at the dungeon. So you can do it like that, or you can just go basic and just do like a thick line or something. It's really up to you. And then the other optional thing you can do is you can add icons to represent stuff in the room. I personally don't do icons because I usually like to just like put some notes on the side of the map or something if there are certain things that pop up on the map. I try not to draw too much stuff in there, but that's just me personally. But here are some ideas. You can draw like a circle with some lines in there to represent a barrel. A table with chairs. You can just mess with like squares and rectangles. A bed as well. Here is an example of like a crate. And then here is a treasure chest. So again, yeah, it is up to you if you want to use icons. I've also seen people just kind of use abbreviations and like circles and squares, like something like, I don't know, probably in the room, they'll probably have a circle and they'll put TC. And for that would represent there's a treasure chest in the room. Or if there's something else, like maybe an encounter of some sort, or maybe a monster, they'll probably put like an M in the room. So yeah, that is just an example. So trying to give you guys like ideas for dungeon making. So you can see that these are like stone kind of walls, and they're very like square-ish and rectangular. But if you are familiar with my Shadow Dark campaign, you'll see here that I drew out very cavernous type of rooms. So these are not like fixed squares or rectangles. I was trying to imitate like a cave, and caves are very like abnormally like shaped, you know, and so that's kind of what I was trying to imitate as I was drawing this. So yeah, so again, it's up to you and your setting if you want it to kind of have this type of cavernous look, or if you want it to more represent like a room. So something to keep in mind. And then we can get started, and I'll show you guys kind of what I do when I make a dungeon. So a couple of things that you can do. You can roll dice to see how many rooms there are in the dungeon if you want, or you can just straight up just go along with your imagination and just draw as you go. But usually I like to do a little dice roll here. So let's see if I can actually, let's do this. Let's do a don't want to do a D12 maybe? Let's see how many rooms we get. So this D12 will tell us how many rooms. Okay, so we have 6 rooms, okay? And then, let's see, if we want to add some, I don't know, maybe some like tunnels or something, well, we can do a D6. So 3. Okay, so there's going to be 6 rooms and 3 long tunnels here. So we can do that. So if we want, so it's up to you how you want to like start, but I think for me, since there are 6 rooms, I do want to kind of figure out the location of where the 6 rooms are gonna be. So I'm actually gonna roll probably my d20 here to see where the first room is. Okay, so the first room, so we will start here. Also, this is kind of similar to the Shadow Dark way to create dungeons. So there's one room, okay, there's another room, and then here's the other one. That's too close. That's too far off the edge there. We'll say it's like down here. There's going to be another one here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. 4, 5. Let's see where the other one is. No, we already got that area. Same with that one. Let's try somewhere here. I feel like that's too far down, but we'll put it here. Yeah. So we'll just do this. Cool. So we have a general idea of kind of where it is, and then for 3 long tunnels, I'm already kind of thinking the long tunnels could be going like this way, and then maybe we can have this one going this way, and then maybe the other long tunnel could be the exit. Yeah, so we'll say the entry is going to be here, entry will be there, and then the exit will be over there. And then all these other rooms will be connected by smaller tunnels here. Yeah, so something like that. And then this one will go to here, that will go to there. Yeah, so I think we have like a basic idea of how we want to do our dungeon layout. So I think for this, I am going to have, maybe these are going to be square room, square room, square room, and then this can be a cavernous room here. So yeah, so we'll go like something like this here. Yeah. Okay, so now we are ready to put that over there. It was such a small desk. Okay, so now we are ready. Okay, so we are going to take our what is this? A ruler here. We can go like this. Of course, this is not necessary. It is simply up to you, but it is handy to get if you do want the straight kind of lines. And try not to draw like too hard, because sometimes it's hard to like erase if it's too like thick. Yeah, okay, cool. So we'll do this. Whoops. Alright, sweet. So here it is. You know what? I do want to make another room here, because why not? Let's just do that. So this could be like maybe like a secret room or something, you know? So there we go. Yeah, like maybe this could be a secret room. That'd be cool. Okay, cool. So we have 2 rooms here, and then for the entry, we can have it going like, could be like a big entry here. There we go. So yeah, so here is the entryway, and then go like this here. So how about we'll go like, whoops. Okay, Okay, so how about we'll go like this, this. Yeah, this would be kind of an interesting little way. Okay, cool. So yeah, so we have our first room, and then we can go off, and yeah, let's say the other room down here is like this. And you can also get creative and make very like odd shaped like rooms. Like you don't need to do squares. Like we can even go like sideways maybe and do like a weird shaped one, like I don't know, something like that. Yeah, it kind of evokes like this weird maybe like a weird energy or something in the room of like, why is this weirdly shaped? That's not normal. I don't know. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, something like that. And then we can have the tunnel go off, and let's see, maybe we can do like a little zigzag of a tunnel, like that. Yeah, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Don't ever think it needs to be perfect, because you are gonna stress yourself out here. Yeah, see, like this looks weird, but you know what, we'll go with it. Like I think it looks weird, but we'll just see. And this is kind of the fun creative part too, is like you can do whatever you want. It's your dungeon. You are the dungeon master. We can make another weird zigzag like lines here. Yeah, there we go. Something like that, see? So, okay. We can do something like this here. So now I'm going to show you guys how to so we did like a trace, and now we're going to go over it. So I think I want, actually, we'll use this size, the 0.3 here. Okay, so now for this, again, up to you if you want to use the ruler or not. Yep. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. Don't ever worry about perfection, because I feel like that kind of like limits you. Unless if you are trying to like, I don't know, get better at like a certain skill or something, then sure. But it is truly up to you. So like that there. See, like that's, I didn't go on the line perfectly, but again, that is not an issue. See, or you don't even need your ruler. Sometimes I find the ruler kind of limiting. You can go like that too. Okay, so look at that. We are starting to get a really cool shape here. Okay. And then we have the side room. And then we have this little tunnel here. Okay, cool. So this is looking like a good start. And I usually like to go like this to kind of give that idea that it is open. And let's say we want to add some doors. So maybe for this, the side room, this can be a door. And usually doors would just be represented as like a rectangle like that. We'll put the door here, and maybe another door here. There you go. And then, yeah, we can have another door like that. So we have a door here, 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 and here. And then now we can, it's up to us if we want to go with that design here. of yeah, if we want to do this, or if we want to do that cross hatching. And I'm not gonna put stuff in the room for this one, but let's see. We can, maybe we can do a kind of like that stenciled look with some like rocks and stuff. So I guess we can do that. So yeah, we can do that. So we would just go like this. Again, this is up to you with how many dots you want to add. If you don't want to add too many, it is your dungeon. Oh, I forgot. I had another room there, but oh well. Maybe the room will just be separated from this one. And I will say it takes practice of like, I don't know, well, whatever kind of style you want to do as well. But there's a lot, like on like Pinterest, for example. I get a lot of inspo from Pinterest and just like other artists that I follow. But yeah, if there's like a particular style that you like and you try to like want to try to emulate that, go for it. This stencil kind of style also like starts to kind of hurt. You know, should remember to like take breaks too. But it is kind of fun. Okay, so we have this. Oh my god, I forgot the other large tunnel that goes into here. But oh well. Anyways, so yeah, so this is how you can do like the stencil kind of look. And then if you want to give it a little more dimension, you can use a thicker point here. And you can go over your lines to make the walls thicker, like this. There we go. Cool. Okay. So this is kind of what our dungeon room is looking like. And if we do want to, if you want, we can actually add like more dots in here too. So we can go like this. Yeah, so it gives it a little more depth. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So I think I'm just to stick with this because it'll take forever to like go through making the whole dungeon here. But okay, so you can see that this is kind of giving it more dimension, and up to you if you want to keep, you know, giving it some more like dots here. And then you can also like add some like rocks or stone as well. I also like kind of doing that too. So we can add like a rock here or something. Yeah, we can do like little rocks here, something like that, to kind of make it more realistic. Yeah, so we can add a rock here. Maybe like a group of rocks there. Maybe like another one. Yeah, so it's kind of nice. Starting to look more and more and feel more like a dungeon here. There we go. So yeah, look at that. That is the dungeon room here. Kind of give you guys like a little bit of a close-up. So yeah, so you can see like the details is starting to like pop up more. It's getting more dimension. We can put some like lines here to kind of give some more depth into like looking at the dungeon stone floor here. So that would be an example of like the dungeon tiles. So keeping it very light, like with your pen, and you're just going like that. You're not going super hard. So now for the dungeon floor. Now that it's pretty much dry, you know? Yeah, so now we can erase. We can give it some dimension here. So for dimension, I like to use a lighter kind of gray for the inside walls because you're looking down. So I think I'm actually going to go with this one. I think this one's going to be nicer. Yeah, okay. So we'll use this, and we will just lightly go over here. Since you're looking down at the dungeon, like this. Let's see, what other dimensions here? Okay, cool. There, so you can see that the walls, trying to give it some like dimension here, just a little bit. I'll probably go like this too for this one. There you go. And then for a darker gray, I'll go over the opposite kind of end, but outside of the wall. Again, you don't need to do the marker because it does kind of give away that like really cool black and white look, and I do like that black and white look as well. So it's truly like up to you and how you want to do it. But okay, there we go. But yeah, so this is what your dungeon is kind of looking like. So I hope this was helpful, and you can see that with like the dimension, and you're like looking at it, it does kind of give off that like 3D look. So again, that's kind of why I like using markers. But yeah, it's truly up to you how detailed you want to make it, how simple. But yeah, I hope these tips like helped with at least figuring out how you want it to look like here. But congrats, you have made a dungeon. So again, here are like the different styles that you can mess with to see what you like. And yeah, and we have made our dungeon over here. So for this video, the one thing that solo tabletop RPGs has really like taught me is just my love for drawing. And I hope this little guideline for how to draw dungeons was helpful for you. And now you can make your own dungeon maps. All right, well, thank you so much, adventurers. I can't wait for the next topic that I'll share with you guys next week. And thank you again for everyone that has like followed me since like day one. I am just so happy that you are joining me on this journey of self-discovery, I guess. So I love learning along the way with you guys. So anyways, thank you so much, adventurers, for all the support. Until next time.